Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Manager Rob Pelinka has stated that the Lakers will have to make several changes to their players this season, as the goal is to build a strong, championship-winning roster. It was also announced that coach J.J. Redick is without 4 players and they will be free to leave for other teams. The Los Angeles Lakers met a disappointing end to an incredibly promising 2024-25 season. After trading for Luka Doncic and securing the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, they were bullied by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round, losing in 5 games. In the series loss, LA's roster construction weaknesses were heavily spotlighted. They lacked size, both in the traditional means lacking a center and on the perimeter with defensive-minded players. Jackson Hayes was unable to replicate his regular season success and was completely ousted from the game plan. The Lakers came away from the series knowing that change needed to be made. However, LA does not have many significant means to improve. In all likelihood, they will have no cap space and be a team above the first apron, meaning they won't have a full mid-level exception or a biannual exception to use. So filling the roster may require LA keeping some of their own players from 2024-25. Below are the Lakers' own free agents and what keeping them might look like. Lakers free agents. Jackson Hayes. There was a time in the late part of the regular season that Hayes was playing well enough to make a case for being the long-term starter next to Doncic. That quickly faded in the playoffs, leaving the Lakers in a situation where they must land a starting caliber center to have any chance of competing next season. But the Lakers will still need a backup behind whoever that starter ends up being, and Hayes may be a perfect candidate to fill that role. Hayes will be entering his 7th NBA season, and is unlikely to yield anything above a veteran minimum on the open market. The Lakers have his early bird rights after 2 years with the team, meaning they can give him a slight raise above the minimum to ensure keeping him. But his estimated minimum, about $3.1 million, should be enough. Hayes being back with the Lakers could make sense for both sides. Markieff Morris. The Lakers reacquired Morris, a key part of the 2020 NBA championship team, in the Doncic trade. His veteran presence and relationship with both LeBron James and Doncic played a role in helping the young superstar adjust to his new team. Morris is entering his 15th season and is not much of a factor on the court anymore. However, if the Lakers are looking for well-liked, tough veterans to fill the back end of their roster, Morris could be a perfect fit. His minimum contract is estimated at $3.6 million, and a return to LA feels very plausible. Alex Len. The Lakers brought in Len midway through the season when the team desperately needed center depth. They were hoping that his 7-foot large frame would help provide the Lakers with some sort of rim protection against opposing centers. Len, however, simply wasn't able to keep up. He very rarely saw the floor, and struggled mightily when he did. He'll be 32 and entering his 13th NBA season, but is unlikely to be back with the Lakers given that he was not playable during the 2024-25 season. His minimum contract would be the same as Morris, around $3.6 million. Christian Koloko. Koloko made his return to the NBA this season after missing the entire 2023-24 campaign due to blood clots. The Lakers were quick to give Koloko a 2-way contract when it became clear he would be considered healthy by the league's medical board. Koloko played in 37 games for the Lakers during the regular season, and was ineligible for the playoffs as LA did not convert him to a standard deal. He is another minimum contract candidate, and could return if the Lakers need to fill the back end of their roster with some extra depth in the paint. He is a restricted free agent, making his return to the Lakers slightly more likely, although they could renounce his rights if he gets a better offer elsewhere and LA choose to do him a solid. His minimum contract comes in at an estimated $2.5 million, although Koloko could be a 2-way candidate once again. Lakers unlikely to move Austin Reeves unless situation changes. The Los Angeles Lakers are trying to figure out what they need to do in order to advance further in the playoffs. After a disappointing first-round loss to the Timberwolves, the Lakers are trying to figure out what upgrades to make. It was clear that the Lakers needed help on the defensive end of the court. They were not able to stop the Wolves when they were driving to the hoop. Austin Reeves has been mentioned as a possible trade candidate because of how poorly he played during the playoffs. He was not effective as the Lakers' third scorer. The Lakers are trying to squeeze out as much championship chasing as they can before LeBron James retires. They have been trying to do everything that they can to get another title before he leaves the team. While rumors have been swirling that Reeves could be moved in order to get a defensive-minded center this offseason, it seems like they would like to keep him. Dan Woik of the LA Times is reporting that unless the situation changes, the Lakers are likely going to hold on to Reeves. They will search for other avenues to add a center. The team has shown no interest in using Reeves in a trade that nets them anything less than a top-tier big, and there aren't any of those available, with the two most common names linked to them in the earliest stages of the offseason, Brooklyn's Nick Claxton and Dallas' Daniel Gafford, Woik reported. Unless there is a top-tier big that the Lakers can get in a straight-up exchange for Reeves, he will end up staying in Los Angeles. That might not be a bad option, either. Reeves had career highs in almost every statistical category this season. While his postseason was bad, he should still keep getting better as time goes on. The Lakers would love it if Reeves could improve a bit on the defensive end of the court. He just needs to be someone that other teams won't hunt, like what happens to Luka Doncic. Los Angeles seems more willing to ship other players out for a center than they do Reeves. They seem to value Reeves in a way that would indicate that they want to keep him for the long term. This past season, Reeves averaged 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game. He shot 46% from the field and 37.7% from beyond the three-point arc. Lakers star Luka Doncic already planning to make major changes this offseason. The trade for Luka Doncic completely changed the present and the future for the Los Angeles Lakers. His presence helped get the team the number 3 seed in the NBA playoffs, but once they got there, they faltered. Doncic played well, having scored 28-plus points in 4 of 5 games, but his poor defensive play was a big reason why the Lakers could only win one game in the series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. When the Dallas Mavericks surprisingly traded the star guard, a reason for that was due to Doncic's conditioning. The team didn't believe he took staying in shape that seriously. Doncic's conditioning has been a talking point for a few years now, but it looks like he might want to finally change the narrative. According to longtime NBA writer Jason Gallagher, the Lakers star is planning to change his mindset when it comes to conditioning this offseason. I have heard from folks that are pretty honest about the conditioning stuff that Luka has already begun to clean slate, starting anew, Gallagher said on the Dumb Zone podcast. He's already in this mindset of changing a lot about himself. Now, I've heard it before. But not from specific people that have been critical of him. Underscore 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 underscore. Gilbert Arenas wants to see more defensive effort from Doncic. Doncic is one of the best defensive players in the NBA. He's averaged over 28 points a game for 4 straight seasons. When it comes to scoring, he's among the best in the league. However, his defense is becoming more of an issue. Even former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas called out Doncic. I think he's gonna get in better shape, Arenas said in a recent YouTube video. Defense? I don't know nothing about that. Either you play defense or you don't. I don't see him just trying to be some lockdown defender. Underscore 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 underscore. Former teammate offers thoughts on Doncic trade. Even with Doncic's faults, not many could have expected the Mavericks to trade him. He was named All-NBA First Team 5 straight years before this season, and just led Dallas to the NBA Finals. There was swift backlash from the Mavericks fan base, as so many were caught off guard when the news broke. Mavericks forward Naji Marshall gave some details as to the thought process of the team after the news. "I mean, I understood business is business as far as NBA, but I was hurt, man," Marshall said on the Young Man and the Three podcast. "Luka's my dog for real. And I love AD, that's my guy right there, like he's been great with us. He welcomed us with open arms, we welcomed him with open arms. That's my guy. But as far as just personally, like I was just hurt to lose Luka, man. I mean, it was a great time spent with him, the short time we did, and I mean I was just hurt to see him go." The Mavericks are feeling better about the deal now that they're likely going to add Cooper Flagg in the draft. Lakers already in talks with former LA center for summer move. The LA Lakers are reportedly interested in bringing back former center Brook Lopez as they look to upgrade their center position this offseason. Credit USA Today Sports, Scampix. The Los Angeles Lakers desperately need a new starting center and more size next season, as highlighted by their early exit from the 2025 playoffs. But with limited cap space, GM Rob Pelinka and the front office will have to get creative. One potential target? Former Laker Brook Lopez, who is set to become an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Despite turning 37, Lopez is expected to draw plenty of interest around the league. According to veteran NBA reporter Jerry Wolfel, interest in the veteran center is already high, and not just from Los Angeles. "There'll be plenty of interest in him," one NBA executive said, before adding with a smirk, "I'm sure the Lakers have already talked to him." NBA Insider reveals how Lakers can trade for Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo. According to Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, several NBA agents believe Giannis Antetokounmpo will request a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks this offseason. Since winning the 2021 championship against the Phoenix Suns in 6 games, Milwaukee has won only one postseason series. Antetokounmpo doesn't have a no-trade clause in his contract. If the future Hall of Famer requests a trade, he can't control where he lands. Pincus did some digging at the NBA Combine in Chicago to identify the 5 most realistic destinations for Antetokounmpo if the two-time MVP requests a trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets, Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs are considered the top landing spots for the Greek Freak. That the Los Angeles Lakers could make a compelling offer for Antetokounmpo, but only if the 2021 Finals MVP asks the Bucks to trade him to LA. The Lakers already shocked the NBA world in February by acquiring Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. How hard Antetokounmpo pushes for what he wants, which, for the record, we don't know, could add teams to the list who otherwise may not belong, Pincus wrote. Does he want to join Doncic and the Lakers? LA can build a deal around Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, filler contracts and marginal draft compensation, a future first, several swaps. The Lakers lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of this year's playoffs in 5 games despite having Doncic and LeBron James. Meanwhile, the Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers in the first round in 5 games. Antetokounmpo, 30, averaged 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 0.9 steals and 1.2 blocks for the Bucks this season in 67 games. The Lakers would have a lethal big three of Doncic, James, and Antetokounmpo if Rob Pelinka figured out a way to acquire Antetokounmpo from the Bucks. Michael Jordan's former agent takes shot at LeBron James for his cherry-picked teams. Discussions regarding who is the greatest basketball player of all time between Los Angeles Lakers forward LeBron James and former Chicago Bulls guard Michael Jordan have seemingly heated up lately with what James has accomplished in recent years. James is the league's all-time leading scorer and has played as many seasons as any player in the history of the NBA. Jordan's former agent, David Falk, is the latest person connected to the NBA to weigh in on the GOAT debate, and he believes his former client to be the greatest ever, though he said James is probably in his top 10 list. He also directed a shot at James for his cherry-picked teams he has been on throughout his NBA career. Probably, Fox said when asked if James was in his top 10. I really like LeBron. But I think if Jordan had cherry-picked what teams he wanted to be on and 2 other superstars, he would have won 15 championships. Falk brings up a valid point in that James has changed teams several times in the NBA and has bounced from star-studded team to star-studded team. Jordan, on the other hand, spent almost the entirety of his career with the Chicago Bulls, though he did play alongside Hall of Famer Scottie Pippen for much of that time. Over the years, James has been fortunate to play alongside stars such as guards Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, and Luka Doncic, as well as big men Anthony Davis, Kevin Love and Chris Bosh. Every one of those players may end up getting enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, which is located in the state of Massachusetts, and some have been enshrined already.